So here we are at the camping again.
Just trying out something new yet again for our winter in Spain.
Yeah, we always seem to be doing that, don't we?
Yeah.
Most of our camping's trying things out for Spain.
Yeah.
But it is important to us because when we get there, we don't want any hassle. We want things to work and we want to be able to relax and chill out.
Yes.
That's why we do it, really. So this time it's the awning, another awning. So we'll have a wee look at this awning and explain why we picked this one.
Yeah.
The advantages of having one against not having one at all, and so on. And then I think we'll cook another wee Spanish lunch, a wee paella, eh? Yeah.
Yep.
Go for that.
Yep.
So why bother with an awning at all? We keep calling it an awning, but it's a shelter really, you know. I mean, this van layout gives us a bed we can leave up full time, which gives us all that storage space underneath, while still having living space at the front. We use umbrella type chairs, which stuff up under here. So we don't have the issue a lot of people have where they have to put stuff in their bed or store it in the corridor while they're travelling and then have to find somewhere to put it when they're stopped. Now I think in truth it's because in Spain, on a long stay, we get so lazy, it becomes too much hassle to pull the chairs out every morning, every night, the stove and all that. So it's just a handy place to put stuff. We rarely sit in it. We thought we would. We've had a few over the years, but we thought we would. And I think it's because mostly, even in a January in Spain, the weather is either good enough to sit out, just out in the open, or so bad that you wouldn't sit in one of them high winds and rain. I think that's the reason. So let's have a wee look at this awning here and see the differences between the old one and the new one and the things that we're doing to make it better. So the last shelter we had in Spain was from Decathlon. It was 2.5 metres square and I always felt it was a bit too big. This one is only 2 metres square and it's perfect. So the other advantage this awning has over the old one, or shelter has over the old one, is it uses steel poles in this section. Glass fibre up here, but the other one was glass fibre all the way down. Now what could be considered a disadvantage is this has no fly screen panel here. It's just this fold down. Now in truth, I've found them to be pretty hopeless. Never use them. So every unit we've bought, we've thought the fly screen was a big issue, didn't we? Yeah. Had to have one. Probably in the caravan, probably it's true. It's a small door, insects get in, it's hard for them to get out again. But in these things, these vans, the doors are so wide, anything that flies in is going to fly out again. So we tend not to use it at all, do we? No. Other than maybe we see a cat wandering about that looks interested in the van in a campsite. Sometimes small birds, you know. Other than that, don't use it. And of course the front of the awnings is just the same, wide open, so this becomes a nuisance, something you've got to push out the road, isn't it? So don't see that as a disadvantage. 2x2 footprint from Vango, we always use these anyway. The ground sheets in these tend to be very thin, little pads for the feet of the chairs. We're going to go and buy the coasters again you get because we threw the old ones out by accident. This shelter comes with just this one ring here, typically with a pin that goes up inside the pole, but when you cinch down on this strap here, it tends to pull any peg you put in out. So I'm going to buy another 4 of these rings. So there's another ring that you can put the peg in. At the moment I've just used a bit of paracord. It'll work, you know, but I think I'll get the rings. Now typically these cheaper shelters will come with just this one guy in each corner. That won't be enough for Spain. So a bit of paracord through the elbow here, elbow joint. And then I've got this, which I'll show you. So one of these on each corner. Now they're ratchets, so it makes it a lot easier to get a bit of tension on the pole. I found them to be really good. So other than that, it's got these vents on the top, and in the back it has mesh with this cover, which should have a little bit of air flowing through on a hot day. All in all, we're pretty pleased with it, aren't we? Looking forward to trying it in a bit of wind and sun in Spain. I should probably mention we've had some heavy rain last night, didn't we, Rona? Yeah. And it stood up to it fine. Normally you get a bit of water pooling in a new thing like this. This one's been fine. So camp cooking's really important to us. You know, it helps the budget, we enjoy it, we enjoy these long Spanish lunches. Now normally what we're trying to do is maximum flavour with minimum ingredients, or minimum effort in fact, maybe 4 ingredients. Paella, a wee bit more to it. But we'll do that just now. So we're just heating up some olive oil. Now we're going to add about 120 grams of chorizo. So it's about half what you typically get in a UK pack to make it easy, and 1 small white onion. We'll just let that cook for a minute or so, a couple of minutes. We're using the Cadac paella pan or paella pan by coincidence, but it's a good general use pan, isn't it? We're going to use it for pretty much everything. You can see what we're going to do here. Again, let the chorizo oil come out. There's a nice little mix there. The other thing I should say is we adapt quite heavily here to what we can get easily. So I hesitate to call this paella, maybe more a risotto. When we make a spaghetti bolognese, I do try and do the proper one. It cooks for about 3 hours. I still call it a meat sauce because I know these things are quite touchy. So we're going to add, that's a red pepper, medium-sized red pepper. Depends how much you like red pepper, I guess. You notice there's not a lot of measuring going on here. I mean, who carries a set of scales in a camper van? Well, we did. Yeah, we gave up on that, didn't we? We're going to give that 3 or 4 minutes stirring now, just let it heat away. Now that's probably been 3 or 4 minutes, but once again I've lost track of time. So I just cook it until it kind of looks right, eh? The peppers are softening up nicely. Now you put 1 clove of garlic in now. I'm using the cheap stuff. Couldn't be bothered chopping it up. I don't know what that is. Is that the equivalent to a clove of garlic? Close enough, eh? Now you'd put in maybe half a tablespoon of paprika here. I like smoked paprika. Used it everywhere. So we're just going to put in, I just like to put this stuff in until, you know, everyone's kind of got a bit on it. You laughing at me, Rona? Eh? So yeah, is that a bit haphazard? Is that a bit haphazard? I don't know. But we're camping, you know, and we've had extraordinary accidents where we just haven't had enough the right ingredients. We've come up with something really, really good. Now this is a bit different as well. You could use real tomatoes, 1 or 2 proper tomatoes chopped. This is sun-dried tomatoes, just the stuff you get in a jar. They sell it as antipasti. I've got 4 of them in here, chopped up. And with that, I just find there's a lot more flavour in them. So now we're going to put in about 110 grams of paella rice. Now, the reason I've got so much here is because I forgot we're only making it for 2. And you know how hard this stuff is to store in a camper van, so we'll go for about that much. Give that a stir now. Again, 2 to 3 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes for everything. Again, it should be about 110 grams. And the only reason for doing this is so that the rice soaks up, you know, a lot of the flavour. So once the rice has been frying away there for about 3 minutes, we're going to add 300 ml of chicken stock. She's just handed me a bag of peas and suggested that she's doing the cooking.
I've done a lot of cooking over the last 10 weeks.
Now, peas about 50 grams. I put in as much as I think I want, really. Usually spill about half of them. Good couple of handfuls, I would say. Now we're going to cook that away in a medium heat for about 10 minutes or so. And I've cranked it up for the last couple of minutes. Now you're never going to make up. She's laughing because I spilt all the rest of that rice everywhere. Honest to God. But you're never going to get that proper paella, you know, crispy rice in the bottom thing like this. So I hesitate to call it anything other than a risotto. Of course, maybe if I stopped stirring it and left it long enough, we might get a crispy base. What do you think?
That's really good.
The thing that is they are adaptations. You could have used shallots instead of onions.
Yeah.
But you know, who the hell buys shallots? So I've ended up sitting in the awning. It's odd, isn't it? In the UK, we tend not to use it. But it's here you tend to need it more, you know. I think, as I said before, in Spain, it's either good enough to sit out in January, February, this is, or it's so awful
You can't.
that you're worried this is going to blow away, you know. So it's been another good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. We tried to make a video about our budget for Spain.
Yeah.
We booked our ferry for Spain, of course, this winter again. But talking about numbers, it's just too boring, isn't it? Yeah. So what I thought we'd do is when we start to head for Spain this year, we'll talk about the ferry, how the cost has increased over the years, what we do to try and save money, why we use that particular route, and so on, you know. Then we'll hit the first campsite. We'll talk about how much we allow for every campsite,
Yeah.
and what it actually costs us, you know, over years what it's cost us.
Yes,
you know?
aye.
And the things that we allow for in our budget, the things that might catch you out, you know,
Yeah.
because it caught us out. We thought we're going to have to start allowing for this. And just build the picture over the period.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, we'll have a list of the items we allow for,
Yes.
what we allow for them, and what it's actually cost us.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lona?
What do I think? What?
Talking to the moped. So one of the other strangely useful things we carry is this extending mop handle. And usually we'll go to Spain with about 3 of these mop heads, because they're handy to keep the solar panel clean. So it's nearly time for packing up. We've learned a few things, taken a few sizes and so on to make it easier in Spain. But I suppose one of the questions would be, why not just use a drive-away that attaches to the van? Now we've done that, we have used a drive-away, but one of the things is that the bit of real estate in front of the door here in a van like this with a sliding door becomes important, because it's really useful to have the ingredients for cooking and so on just sitting inside there where you can grab them. So you end up wanting this bit of space here. Now we've tried a drive-away where we just didn't attach it to the van, but they never seem to sit right. You know, you've got this load of material here which should be attached to the van and isn't. But also the poles never seem to tension right. You end up with a lot of pooling of water. If there's heavy rain, you get the nylon sags, and you end up with a lot of rain in there and so on. So that's why we don't use a drive-away. The other reason is that obviously we can position this anywhere we want in a pitch. We've put it here just to try it. But if you want a bit of protection for wind or privacy, you can move this around. That's why you see a lot of these on long stays in Spain, if there's any kind of shelter. You'd also say, as we take this down, each of these ratchet straps, each pair you buy them in, comes with its own neat wee bag. Highland is the make. So that's it again, a good wee shakedown trip, wasn't it? Just to try things out. So we'll say hi to Cleo and Charlie and Joey. We hope everybody has a good week.
Yep.
Catch you in the next one. We're actually not going to be home. Passing. We're actually not going to be home too long this time, are we? We're planning to turn around pretty quickly here, now that the kids are back in their own house and that. So have a good one. Bye.